welcome back to my channel. She had gone by the name Anna Delvey, and she was a Russian immigrant who grew up in Germany and eventually became an intern in this magazine in Paris. After that, moved to New York, where she began her scamming and scheming of pretending to be one of the top elites. She was really out there doing the most, y'all. She made it seem like she was somebody who had inherited all this money, and that was the story. No one really knew exactly, but people were saying that she is a daughter of a German, CEO. There was just so much going around, but no one really knew. And I think that's how Anna liked it, because it's like she was able to get away more with stuff. This DJ named Elle met Anna in 2014 when she was, and I'm gonna be looking at my phone because I'm kind of referring to the article, when she was booked as a DJ for a hotel in the Hamptons. She had gotten a knock on her door one day by this gentleman named Tommy, who was asking on her behalf if, Anna could stay in the room with Elle and her friends. But Elle's reaction initially was no, because it was already kind of crowded in the room with 3 girls sharing 2 beds. And she said that Anna just had stood there with a blank face, didn't say hello, was very cold and distant. Like, she got a really bad, unfriendly vibe from her. And then when one of her friends had, complimented her dress, Anna just said Balenciaga. Like, that's it. Her friend was just like, oh, I like your dress. Instead of saying thank you, it's just like Balenciaga. So I can see why they probably didn't want Anna to room with them. However, Elle felt so bad for not offering her a place to stay, even though that was their when you initially meet someone. Anyway, so she went to apologize and was like, hey girl, if you do need a room, just come up to where we are and we'll blow up an air mattress or something and you can sleep in front of the desk. So Anna didn't say anything again and gave her this eye raise. Anna ended up not coming to the room that night. So the next morning, Elle was heading out to go get coffee, and she spotted Anna in one of the parking lots in the hotel, sleeping in a car. So she thought it was really weird because it was around noontime and it was pretty hot, and she thought that if Anna had all this money, then why did she not get her own room in the Hamptons, or why did she not call an Uber or something to come get her, to take her to a different hotel? She just thought that was really iffy. She said over the next few months she would see Anna at events and different parties and things like that, and part of Elle's job description on top of being a DJ was to just go around and talk and socialize with people. And she could tell that Anna would be one of those people that would kind of hang around the DJ booth, and when the photographer was making their rounds, she would make sure she was in the picture, even though she didn't really know these people, making it look like she was all about the Manhattan scene and knew all these people, had great connections. Eventually, Anna did ask for Elle's number, and one day Anna had texted her if she wanted to go to a little dinner get-together thing, and so she agreed. And when she got there, she said that Anna was at the bar sitting by herself, and that the other people that I guess Anna had texted to come to this thing, it was really awkward because everyone was looking at their phones. No one really knew each other. No one really knew what to say. So every time Elle would try to, start a bit of a conversation, Anna was just always on her phone, very not involved with the conversation, and would always make it a point to mention all she has. Basically, she would kind of brag about wanting to buy a $12,000 a month apartment. She would also taunt Elle a little bit about not having enough Instagram followers, and she just seemed very shallow. And so Elle just decided to leave. After that, again, she would kind of see Anna around here and there, but she never really talked to her that much. There was an incident where Anna tried to push her luck. Elle was dating a San Francisco businessman who happened to be in the Forbes 30 under 30 for that year. Like, that's how successful he was. And Anna had invited them to come again to a little get together, and Elle just warned her boyfriend that, hey, this might be awkward, just to let you know. I've had dinner before with her, you know, so it's probably not gonna go anywhere. So they didn't have anything else to do really that day anyway, so they just agreed to go. Again, she described the experience as being very awkward and off-putting. People who had arrived, no one was talking to each other. They were all looking at their phones. No one was socializing. Her and her boyfriend were trying to keep a conversation going, but it was absolutely going nowhere. So she said that the awkwardness and the silence was so uncomfortable that they ended up leaving before finishing their drinks because they couldn't take it. Early the next day, Anna actually called Elle, and Elle thought that was very strange because she had never called her before, so that's why she picked up. And Anna was crying hysterically. She was saying that the staff was being extremely mean to her because she had, what was it? She was trying to check out. Okay, yeah, she was trying to check out of the hotel and her credit card wasn't working. So she then asked if, you know, Elle could bring her card, and Elle was like, how much? She said 35,000 pounds, which is like 38,000 US dollars. So Elle was like, I do not have that. So after Elle said that, Anna immediately, she described Anna as immediately flipping a switch. It was like no more tears, voice just, you know, like monotone basically. And Anna asked, what about your boyfriend? Elle was like, what about my boyfriend? She tried to get off that phone so fast because how ridiculous is it for a stranger who you have not had the very best interactions with to ask to cover a $38,000 hotel bill? I would do the same thing. I do not blame Elle at all for that. Like, it just put a very, very bad taste in her mouth. Elle did wonder how she got out of that situation, but ultimately she was just like, whatever, like, if I find out, I find out. If I don't. You know, eventually she did find out that Anna was not who she said she was. So yeah, I'm gonna also touch on Rachel Williams, who was a former friend of Anna's. She actually worked for Vanity Fair as a photo editor. She met Anna through some mutual friends in New York City. And again, she heard the same story of Anna possibly being a German heiress. So they quickly kind of befriended each other, and she believes it's because she was like the complete opposite of Anna, as in she could communicate with people, she could was friendly, could get along with others, as opposed to Anna, who was very cold, didn't say thank you, didn't say please. Rachel even says this, that she thinks that Anna was just happy to have a friend by her side. One day, Anna invited Rachel to go to Marrakesh with her. That's a city in Morocco, and they were gonna stay for, I don't really know how long, but I do know that Rachel had to leave like a week early because she had to go to Paris. Oh, sorry guys, I had to switch to my iPhone because my battery died. Anna brought her personal trainer along, and she also brought a videographer because she was going to do like a little documentary for her startup foundation, which is like Anna Delvey Foundation. She hadn't gotten the funds for her foundation yet, which again, she was gonna con a bank to loan her like $25 million or something. She had already tricked the bank into loaning her $100,000, up her chances, I guess, of trying to get millions of dollars for this foundation she was starting up. Rachel had to pay for like flight fees. Anna was saying she was having trouble paying for it, so Rachel was like, okay, because Anna promised her that she would pay her back. So I don't think really Rachel had like doubted that. They got to the hotel in Marrakesh. It was $7,000 a night. Okay, like that's how lavish this hotel was. $7,000 a night. The staff of the hotel was getting very irritated and very frustrated with her because there was not a working credit card on file. And so Anna just asked Rachel if she can use her card to put down and have something because she was stressing out. Even though Rachel didn't have those types of funds, she still just agreed to put her credit card down on hold because she thought, you know, Anna would pay her back like she had promised. Then when Rachel touched down in Paris, she had gotten a notification on her phone that $62,000 had been charged to her card. And she said that's more than she made in a year. So she was very much taken aback, very much just stunned. And she said that, I think it was maybe over 2 months. I'm not sure the exact timeline, so don't quote me on that. But Anna would keep in contact with her, promising to pay her back, giving her fake confirmation numbers, fake wire numbers, giving her a fake number to the bank. And Rachel would think she was talking with a bank representative, but she was really talking to Anna, pretending to be one. And yeah, it was always excuses as to why Anna couldn't get the money, and you know, where the funds were. There was always an excuse. So Rachel just got fed up, really, and then she tried to call a lawyer to help her. That lawyer didn't help her. Police couldn't do anything about it because they were like, this is an overseas matter. And so she got in touch with the general attorney's office, where they listened to her complaint because it also had something against Anna, and they knew that she was dealing in fraudulent activity. And so they asked Rachel if she could get back into contact with her to see if they could find her location. And so that's what Rachel did. She would just text her, trying to figure out where she is, and eventually it ended up leading them to Malibu, where Anna had checked herself into a rehab center. So they figured out that, of course, how Anna lived her lifestyle, that she was going to choose the most expensive rehab center there was. Is sure enough, Anna was staying at the most extravagant, expensive rehab center that was in California, which I think is actually the most expensive rehab center in the nation. So when Anna exited the rehab center one day, she was then cornered and arrested. So during her trial, she was in fact found guilty, and she was ordered to pay back $200,000 in like fees where she swindled hotels, rooms, restaurants, banks. But she was not found guilty of the $62,000 that was charged to Rachel's account. Also sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison, and she is currently in jail right now serving her time. I'm not sure exactly how long she got, but I think the earliest they said she could get out is next year, maybe. I'm not really sure. But yes, I know that there are talks about making a Netflix series. I didn't want to talk too much about Rachel's story because she does have a book out, and she has done several press tours about it. So that is the story of Anna Delvey, aka Anna Sorokin, and I hope you enjoyed this. I had a great time researching and hearing about it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!